Today, I want to explain why the shorts are threatening retail investors. They started by begging you to sell. Then they tried creating FUD about AMC going bankrupt to scare you into selling. And now they're trying to threaten you into selling, threatening you with lawsuits, with prison time, or even worse. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, Sugar Kush tweeted saying grifters are all riled up after the call today. It's good if you're not guilty because you won't have anything to worry about. But if you are, then you have all the right to be worried because prison is not for everyone. And he said now carry on and sit tight because we'll soon find out how many of you retail investors were paid to screw other investors. Now I want to point out two things with this tweet. The first is this tweet is obviously designed to threaten you as a retail investor, basically saying if you remain as part of this AMC movement, you could potentially face prison time. I want to assure all of you watching this video that none of you will face prison time just for holding shares of AMC. Now he also speaks about finding out how many of you were paid to screw other investors, which is ironic because as far as I'm aware, it's only this group of shills that were paid by short sellers like kohrs to post negative sentiment about AMC. As far as I'm aware, there's no investors that support Adam Aaron, be it influencers, YouTubers, or anyone else that was paid by Adam Aaron and AMC to post positive things about the company. Obviously, I receive advertising revenue from YouTube and sign-up fees from MooMoo, but have never received a dime from hedge funds, from Adam Aaron, from short sellers, from AMC, or from anyone else for that matter. As I've always promised, if I was paid off, you wouldn't catch me making videos with this background here. I'll be on a nice desert island somewhere spending my millions. Unfortunately, I haven't been paid millions, I haven't earned millions, and that's why I'm still making videos here. Now, Gungal NYC also created a list of AMC Pumpers who claim they don't give financial advice, but actually they do. Now, again, this is just a list of positive people in the community who post their due diligence about AMC, about Ape, about GameStop, about reverse splits, and everything else under the sun. As far as I'm aware, none of these investors have posted specifically telling you to buy shares of AMC or telling you to buy a certain amount of shares. All they've done is post due diligence, which you can review for yourself and make your own mind up as to whether it's good news or if it's bad news. And again, all I've done is collate information, research, due diligence, news articles, and everything else in one easy to understand short YouTube video. And as Sal tweeted, he said, I think it's hilarious that people like Amy, Gungal NYC, kohrs, and their merry band of shorts are attempting to manipulate people into investigating influencers. He said it's almost like these people just magically forget that kohrs, along with Trey and other people in their own group of shills, made YouTube videos on AMC. But let's just gaslight everyone and focus on the people who have never taken a dime from you and just simply posted due diligence and research unpaid. And I think the reason why these shorts and these shills are now threatening you with prison time or even worse is because of how scared they really are. The AMC 8 posted about how Fidelity seemingly don't have any real shares of AMC and will not allow AMC to be DRS'd any longer. You can also currently get a guaranteed free share of Tesla or of Google and up to 15 free shares on top of that, which you could always use to buy more shares of AMC or of GameStop. All you have to do is sign up to MooMoo using the link in the description below and make that temporary required qualifying deposit. Signing up to MooMoo is free and it's easy, it just requires that temporary deposit and it's a really great way to help support the channel. And on top of that, MooMoo is very easy to use. There's tons of technical indicators and advanced charting tools and their own options trading platform. This user posted with Fidelity's virtual assistant saying, I've sent many orders for DRS. And now it says the security AMC is not eligible for DRS transfers. The Fidelity employee replied saying you were attempting to DRS these shares out of your IRA account because Fidelity, for whatever reason, don't allow DRS transfers from IRAs. But this individual is trying to DRS the shares just from his regular individual account. And the Fidelity employee has said thank you for your patience. After the corporate action occurred, there is now a new QSIP for AMC. And as of right now, the security with its new QSIP number is no longer eligible for DRS transfers. Clearly Fidelity doesn't have any real shares of AMC and as a result won't allow users to DRS shares. Likely because they're still having to buy up shares in the open market to give to users that have currently received placeholders for their AMC settlement. And until that period is done, until Fidelity have somehow managed to go out and buy some real shares, they won't allow anyone to DRS. Because obviously that would just move more shares out of their account at the DTCC and into ComputerShare, which again just exposes the obviousness of synthetic short selling even more. And that's why these shills and these shorts are trying to threaten you into selling so Fidelity can buy up your shares to give to other users that still haven't received their settlement properly. As I said, many of these brokers issued the settlement early when it shouldn't even exist, and many issued it late, simply giving you a fake IOU placeholder. They're trying to threaten people into selling so they can buy up some real shares to replace those placeholders with real shares. And that's why the mainstream media is still writing articles saying that AMC's descent to zero could be faster than you think. But a suspended POS added, he said, "I've heard this story for 2.5 years already and it still hasn't happened." What I think is also important is the reverse splitting conversion I think could have saved AMC from an illegal delisting. Obviously just prior to the reverse split, the price was pushed down below $2 per share. Any lower and it would have triggered the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq's delisting process. If the shorts tried to get AMC relegated off the stock exchange into the OTC markets, it could have been game over for AMC, because it would have been significantly more difficult for retail investors to buy new shares of AMC and more difficult for institutions to buy shares of AMC to push the price upwards. It would have been the exact same thing that's happened to Bed Bath & Beyond, but obviously with the reverse split, the price of AMC is now above $10 per share. AMC is again no longer at risk of being delisted or no longer at risk of being illegally delisted. Now, Practical Stocks has also tweeted saying, as a reminder, the Taylor Swift concert is just the start. I said in my video yesterday it could potentially generate an additional 50% of AMC's annual revenue in just a short 5-week concert showing. And he said if the Taylor Swift deal does well for both Taylor and for AMC, which is pretty much guaranteed at this point with AMC's early ticket sales, more artists could soon be next. Artists such as Beyonce, Travis Scott, Eminem, and many others could soon be working alongside AMC for even more revenue. As a reminder, it's not just AMC making massive profits out of this and Taylor Swift making absolutely zilch. Taylor Swift actually keeps over 50% of the revenue. Therefore, this is a great deal for both Taylor Swift and for AMC, and it's pretty much guaranteed to make tons and tons of profit. This is yet another revenue stream for AMC that's going to make it hundreds of millions, if not billions, if not tens of billions of dollars each and every year. And J House added saying after the reverse split and the conversion, shorts spent 2 full weeks increasing their short positions in anticipation of dilution. We saw tens of millions of shares of AMC being borrowed and shorted around that conversion. The short interest has shot up over 200%. But instead of mass dilution of 500 million new shares, AMC simply announced a massive giant partnership generating billions of dollars of revenue, which could potentially be Adam Aron's checkmate and why the shorts should choke on that. I also thought about one of the shills and one of the shorts' previous tactics that doesn't seem to be around any longer. You may remember back in the day there was tons of GameStop influencers and accounts on Twitter that were posting hate information about AMC. This was at a time when AMC was more oversold, had a higher OBV, had things like BDRs and multiple QSIPs trading overseas, and had spent 50 days straight on the threshold securities list. That was those GameStop influencers and Twitter accounts writing hit pieces on AMC, trying to convince you to sell AMC and buy GameStop instead. But now all of those influencers or shills and shorts seem to have disappeared and nobody is trying to convince you to sell AMC to buy GameStop instead. And that's because they've moved on to this new tactic, not to try and convince you to sell, not to try and scare you to sell, but now trying to threaten you to sell. But as per usual, this tactic from the shorts will not work and AMC will squeeze when the shorts dig themselves too deep and eventually implode. So guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.